guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my April book haul. I know what you're thinking. Robin, you legit said in your last book haul that you weren't gonna do another book haul for a while. I lied. So I have gotten my April book of the month box. I picked up 3 new books from that. And I also, towards the end of March, picked up a couple goodies. So I wanted to kind of come on here and do like a collective April book haul post. Yeah. So I have come to the conclusion that I will probably do a monthly book haul video. I will put all of the books that I collect in the month aside and do a book haul with you guys. So that is what today's video is. It is an April book haul. Even though most of these were gathered at the end of March, we're calling it April. So anyway, so we're just gonna kind of get right to it. These books were bought using my own money. I am a subscriber to Book of the Month. I will put my link down below. If you guys want to check out Book of the Month, you pay $14.99 a month for 1 book credit. And then after that, you can add on 2 additional books for a total of 3 at $9.99 per book. I think it's worth it, especially if you're somebody that likes to read a lot. And they do offer early releases, debut authors, stuff that you wouldn't necessarily stuff that you wouldn't necessarily pick out for yourself in a bookstore. And this has kind of allowed me to like be outside of my box and my comfort zone of reading. Typically, I was a person that read young adult novels. I have recently started to read a lot more true crime novels, mystery, stuff like that. And it's actually because of Book of the Month that I have decided to branch out in my readings. So anyway, we're just gonna kind of get right into it. I don't want this video to be super long. There's not a ton of books, but there are a few. So the first book I have is #MurderTrending. This is by the author Gretchen McNeil. And this story really drew me in. So basically what it seemed like, based on the back, was people can watch like famous murderers and famous people who have done wrong be murdered and like executed and stuff like that in prisons. And I thought it was an interesting concept because in a world where we have so much violence among us, to have these people who have done these terrible things and have it so broadcast live just seemed like an interesting concept. I personally probably would not want to watch somebody die before my eyes, but it seemed interesting enough to read. Next, I have Armada by Ernest Cline. This is an older book. Ernest Cline was the writer for Ready Player One, and I absolutely love that book. I have not gotten a chance to read Ready Player 2 yet. I am waiting for my mother-in-law to finish that. And then I plan on reading that one. But this one seemed like a really interesting concept because, you know, it has that books, movies, video games that I really loved reading about in Ready Player One, also in this one, so I'm kind of curious about it. My husband did tell me after I bought it that he had bought it on the Kindle, and now I felt like a douche, but we have it in book form now. And I typically like to read books a lot more than the Kindle. I just like that hard copy in my hand. Next, I have the book Sadie by Courtney Summers. I had read something on Goodreads about this, and it's been in a bunch of people that I follow. It's in their TBR piles, and like reading the back of this in the store, I was like, you know, this sounds really interesting. So it seems to be about a girl that goes missing after the murder of her little sister, and is there a connection between the two? And it kind of drew me in. It does seem to be a young adult novel, but it has that crime aspect and that mystery aspect to it, so it was like, ooh, this is like everything in one for me. So I did pick this one up as well. The next book I have is The Project, also by Courtney Summers. So this was actually what drew me to the other Courtney Summers book. I was in like the new release section in my bookstore and I saw this and like I picked it up because the cover really drew me in, and inside the cover it had like the little synopsis of what the book's about, and it seemed interesting enough that it kind of reminded me of like a cult So I'm kind of excited to give this a try. I don't know if it is a cult. Maybe the cult killed her family. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to find out. The next book I have is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I'll be honest, I have no idea what drew me into this. I don't even remember picking this up. I think I had an out-of-body experience at the bookstore. That happens to me in Elta, but never the bookstore. I literally have no idea what this is about. I think it has to do with like fairy tales and magic, which would probably be the reason why I picked it up, but we will find out. The next book I have is The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. Really the cover drew me into this, and it's so cool. It looks like a heart, but like with a castle on top. I'm pretty excited about it. It made it seem like it was a really cool book, a really cool story. Not necessarily like dystopian, but like otherworldly characters in it. So I'm excited to give this a try. The next book I have is Where the Crawdads Sing. I saw so many people read this over the summer, over last year. This is a Reese's Book Club pick. I tried to listen to this on audiobook, but there was so much going on that my brain just couldn't concentrate on it. So I've heard about maybe a quarter of it, maybe a little bit less. And what I heard, I loved. So I decided to pick this up to actually read it and really get into the story, because in my opinion, audiobooks don't pull me completely in. And that's mostly because I listen to them while I'm driving or like about to go to sleep. But I can't really get into a book that way. Typically, I only listen to audiobooks that I have already read, or if my daughter wants to listen to something. I also enjoy that as a way to kind of catch up with a story. So say I've already read, we're gonna say Mortal Instruments series. There's so many books in that, and I've only read officially the first two, and I wanted to read the third, but I couldn't remember anything about the first two. So I listened to the first two and actually just finished the second one so that I could refresh my memory and then start reading the third. The next book I have is The Girls Are All So Nice Here by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. I'll be super honest, this seemed like a book that I would really love. It kind of reminded me of Odd Girl Out in a way, where, you know, you have the frenemies kind of a situation. So I'm excited to give this a try. I hate that about girls. I hate that some girls will make fun of or cast out somebody based on the stupidest things, their looks, their weight, something that they like theater, whereas you're not a sports girl, you're a theater girl, or something like that. I think it's stupid. I think girls should all just get along. We have enough issues in this world that I don't think that people need to pick on you for something that you can't control, like the color of your hair, your eyes, your skin. I don't like that about the world, but I do enjoy reading about it, because in my opinion, reading about it educates you on it. And if you don't want to end up with somebody that does those things, you need to educate yourself so that you're aware of what you're saying, what you're thinking. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. Now, the next three things are what I grabbed from my book of the month picks in April. My first book is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. Now, it seemed interesting, but I have no idea. I hope it's not like actually about physically hunting, because poor animals, right? But it kind of like the cover really drew me in. The title really drew me in. This was the pick that I picked for my official book of the month, not an add-on. The next book I picked as an add-on was also one of the picks for book of the month, not an official add-on. This is called What Comes After by Joanne Tompkins, and the only thing I really remember about the little synopsis or the description that it gave was that it's like a town rocked by these two teenage boys' deaths and everything that comes after. So it kind of drew me in because it's about murder. I don't have issues. The next book I have is Firekeeper's Daughter. This was a book I saw on a lot of people's watch lists over the last couple of months, and it's just something that people keep talking about. And when I saw that it was an add-on, I like instantly rushed to grab it because I was like, oh yeah, that seems awesome. I have no idea what this book's about, but the cover is so cool looking. So I hope that it's a good story. Anyway, that is it, you guys, for my April book haul. We are calling it April even though it was March, like I said, because it included my April book of the month box. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.